Those just pop up on you, and you're like, "What?"
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Two Comic Book Dudes. Don't you always feel like you're coming in the middle of a conversation? And you probably are, but it's
It's
okay.
okay. It's
We'll
okay.
include you in this part of the conversation, and then you can make other people feel left out.
Yay.
So, if you haven't noticed by the background, this week we're kicking off Apocalypse Wars in the X books, and this covers 3 issues only. So it's really not an event. It's more like a mini crossover. It's just kind of weird. But yeah, it only
Is it
covers
really?
three books. Yeah, only 3 books.
Oh,
So Extraordinary X-Men number 8, all new, all different X-Men number 9, and Uncanny number 9, I think it is. There's no checklist. No, that was the one thing I was fighting with, trying to find. And I actually ended up having to go to the Marvel website to look it up.
Gotcha. That's cool.
So,
Well,
yeah.
it's a short one then. It's a short one. It should wrap
It
quickly
is.
then.
Yep.
Maybe it'll
So,
bring some closure to some issues going on in the X-verse.
we hope so. The cool stuff going on right now. I mean, there's been a lot of cool stuff in the X books. I mean, there's some new characters and some, the young kids are kind of trying to make their way, and it's like wish they'd just go back in time and go back home.
But we still don't know what happened to Cyclops.
Right. Cyclops, something happened to him. He's gone, dead, right?
Dead.
Supposedly.
Apparently.
And we know that the young ones can't get back home because of something with the space-time continuum. It's messed up.
Whatever, Beast, fix it.
Yep. So what we're going to do is go ahead and kick off this week with a wonderful little presentation for you. X-Men Apocalypse Wars. So first issue is out this week. Extraordinary X-Men number 8 was this week. Cover. And we got different covers. I got the Women of Power cover, which is a variant, and it has Storm and Blob, or whatever her name is, Glob. I don't know. It's hard to tell who some of these people are. But anyway, there's Women of Power on the cover. So it's a cool cover. I like it. Cool. It's pretty neat. Yeah.
As always, Extraordinary X-Men is done by writer Jeff Lemire. Awesome. And Humberto Ramos is doing the art, which I loved it. I thought the art was great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's an excellent book. Probably one of the best X books right now that's out.
Yes, yes.
And there's only 3?
3, and then like All New Wolverine, if you want to count that.
Oh, yeah.
Logan. So there's
it's
some
not
spin-off,
technically an X-Men book, but it's got
X
people in it.
Uncanny X-Men is getting really, really good, though, also, I'll say. So glad to see how that one ties into this, too, at some point.
Yep. So this month's book, this month's crossover book, or the kickoff, is Extraordinary X-Men number 8. That starts the whole thing off. And then next month, April, we'll see Uncanny X-Men number 6. That's written by Cullen Bunn with Ken Lashley doing the art. And then the finale is in All New X-Men number 9, which is in May. That's the conclusion. Cool. So whether or not, I don't believe there are any other crossovers. Like it's just these 3 books. So interesting. So, but this book was pretty cool. This is really, this is our kickoff. So, we've had X-Haven relocated to Limbo and all that stuff happen. So Storm is currently leading the X-Men, be that as they are. Right now we've got, the younger X-Men who are there, Iceman, Jean Grey. They found Nightcrawler again. Cerebra, the recommissioned Sentinel, who's now the housing for Cerebro, but Cerebra. Colossus and Old Logan, as well as Magic, who's really helped kind of build up the defenses in Limbo, where X-Haven is located. So Terrigen Mist, crossing the globe, killing and making everybody sick. So they had to locate off of Earth in order to survive.
Right.
So
I like how in this book, though, later on they mention the Terrigen Mist cloud and how it's now just a cloud and they can stay away from it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's over the Atlantic Ocean or something. It's kind of out of everybody's way now. So
and they're over in Asia. So
so it's interesting because right off in the beginning, you have this interesting little moment with Storm and Old Logan, which which I thought was, we've seen some of that romantic involvement in the past. I mean, geez, Logan's hooked up with everybody, I think,
Right.
at some point.
Except Jean
Um,
Grey.
except, well, no, because there was the
He's never banged Jean except Age of Apocalypse.
really.
Yeah, never banged her.
Okay, okay.
Named a
Because
school after a woman he never banged.
yeah, that's true. Well, because he kissed her hot and heavy there during the X-Men, whatever that was, the one series. It wasn't Uncanny. It was the other X-Men, Astonishing.
Mm-hmm. Oh
I
yeah,
think it was
yeah,
Astonishing
yeah,
X-Men.
yeah.
Smooched her a good one.
Right.
That got a big fight between him and Cyclops then because of that. But anyway,
Yep.
yeah. So anyway, Logan and her kind of hold hands, lean in for a kiss, and then Forge interrupts. Good old Forge.
Go Forge.
Another former lover of Aurora's. Uh, that's back in the day. Like 180, 190 time of X-Men's. Uncanny
Yep.
X-Men.
So
So,
Forge comes in. He's got big news.
oh yeah.
Big news.
600.
Like, yeah,
600.
out of nowhere, new mutant signatures just pop up.
Yep. So that's cool because we know the Terrigen Mist has basically made it, the cloud has made it so no human babies are born for some strange reason.
No mutant babies.
Right. That which, I'm sure has no connection whatsoever to Fox having the movie rights to X-Men.
Yeah. It's all device. They're always trying to cut down the number of mutants because if they feel like there's just a bazillion of them and they need to condense it, and then they'll have to bring back some. So it's always in flux.
Yep. So this is in Japan. They see these all of these sudden these 600 mutant signatures show up just out of nowhere and freaks everybody out. I mean, they really don't know what's going on. So of course
we gotta go check it out.
Plow in there and find out what's going on. So
right.
Cyclops takes part of the team, or Colossus, sorry.
Yeah, he takes his younger group because Magic is in New York with.
Well, no, that's an earlier. That one flashes back 5 days before this, or 5 weeks before all this happens, or 5 days. Right?
She said she was somewhere.
That's 5 days earlier. She has to go back to Limbo.
Oh yeah, Magic and Nightcrawler are still in Mexico, and Jean and Iceman were up in Toronto. So Colossus takes the young group he's been training.
Yeah, and he was hesitant about it.
Mm-hmm.
But Aurora's like, no, they've been training, they're good. Just go. So yeah. Now this book just came out this week, so I don't know how much we want to. Do we want to just spoil the crap out of it?
I mean, we can still go a little further. I mean, because we don't. Okay, we get to Japan. The team gets to Japan and they locate a warehouse where they're getting all of these mutant signatures coming from. All
like
these
a bunker.
600. Yeah, it's big. Just it's on the waterfront. It's off the wharf. So
yeah.
It's just a housing, and we can give away who this is.
Yeah, I mean this. So we have a harken back to the last big apocalypse event that I remember, and this is kind of a resurgence of some character that I haven't seen forever. And I'm like, I know his name, I can't remember, and I'm thinking Sweet or Tasty or something, and like Sugarman jumps out. He's like, no, get out of here. You guys are, I always picture him with like a high pitched squealy voice or like a Gilbert Gottfried kind of voice,
Yeah, definitely. I can see that.
But him and his big old tongue flopping around. So he has saved these mutant embryos, 600 of them in this little ark thing, and he's trying to send them off someplace safe. And whatever that means to him,
Right.
So of course the mutants, the X-Men want to stop him, want to get that because we know he's a bad guy. He's a dark geneticist, just like Dark Beast. He actually worked with Dark Beast back in the day. So they want to stop him from doing whatever he was doing.
Suppose he hasn't worked with Sinister, or has he?
Yeah, I can't remember if he did or not in Apocalypse Wars. I think the two of them worked together. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, there's a whole thing there where he's just a bad guy. So he zap-pows off into the arc, goes off into somewhere, and so do all of the young X-Men. Poof, they're gone.
And Colossus.
And Colossus, that's right. So we're not going to spoil where they go or what
Yeah.
happens after that, but we will say that wherever they go, apocalypse must be near because there's horsemen. And it's awesome. We're not going to tell you who the horsemen are either. We're not going to spoil that because that's like last page kind of stuff.
Yep.
But this book is worth picking up if you're an X-Men fan. If you like, X-Men from the past. If you like when the times they fought Apocalypse or the times the four horsemen showed up, and when Angel was turned into Death, that was awesome.
Yep.
All that kind of stuff. You're going to like this book. It really harkens back to those old stories, and it's good.
Yeah,
so
this
I'm
one
interested
was
to see what happens.
definitely a fun read, like a fun X-Men book.
Yeah.
You weren't like dredged down like this one. The story got going. You got to a point and you got a reveal where you were like, "Holy crap, this is great! Can't wait for the next one."
Yep. And it's some interesting stuff too, because I always thought that the horsemen were always mutants, right? So if the horsemen were always mutants, then there's one horseman who you go, that's interesting, because that means that person's a mutant, but in current continuity, that person's not a mutant. So that's kind of interesting if you think about that.
Well,
actually, two of them are mutants.
Two of them are probably not, unless everybody
actually,
where they are is a mutant.
Three of them. So it opens up all kinds of questions. We're not going to spoil it, but there are a lot of questions to go along with this. Like, there are three of the horsemen who you're like, that's not a mutant. That's not a mutant. That's not a mutant.
One of
that's
them
the leader's a mutant,
and,
but nobody else.
And the other one behind him is.
No, not technically.
Artificially.
Artificially, yes. Yes.
And then the other two, like what I'm saying is where that is, maybe at that point and where that is, everyone is a mutant.
Maybe everybody's genetically a mutant.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see. It's very interesting. So it definitely has a good start. We're really excited about this series. We'll cover the next book as soon as it comes out. And of course, if anything in between happens to cross over, I think, from what I read on the Marvel site, it's just 3 books. But if there's something else going on, like with Uncanny or anything else, I'll definitely pick that up and let you know. But I think what they're doing is this is kind of the tail end of this month's books, and then next month, and then Uncanny must not pick up until like number 9 comes out the beginning of May, like that first week. Yeah. So maybe we don't have an Uncanny book next month. I don't know. So anyway, cool stuff. Good stuff, though. Great art. Really cool story. And then the secondary story in this one was really interesting. And what was it called again?
It was called
something
Strange Magic.
Oh, Strange Magic. Yeah. So we got magic and
Sapna.
Sapna. That's so bad. I'm sorry. Sapna, little girl who I know we met her earlier on, and she really couldn't figure out what her mutant power was at first.
Yeah, and then she kind of went nuts when they were getting attacked in Limbo.
Yeah. So now we have this little girl. Magic's taking her to see Doctor Strange, and kind of try to figure out what her power is. So that's kind of interesting.
Good little short story. Like he casts a cursory detection spell on her to try to figure it out, and figures out that she's not actually magic, but her ability is language.
Right. So it's interesting too how they explain that magic is just another language, and so her power is to interpret and absorb all languages. Therefore, she really has a connection to every type of magic. Right. And that's pretty cool. She's got a great power, and you'll have to. We won't spoil that one either, but there's some really cool stuff that happens in that story as well. Just introduction of a neat new character that can be very, very powerful, and definitely a big help to the X-Men team. So we'll see how that goes. But
very good.
So that's it. That's it for Extraordinary X-Men number 8 this week. Kicking off Apocalypse Wars. So we appreciate you guys watching. Next week. Well, yeah. So stay tuned for our other event coverage. We're doing the the big Avengers events, standoff, the Avengers standoff, the Assault on Pleasant Hill, which has been really good so far. We just we'll have a video up on that for the 3 books from last week, or 2 books from last week, 1 from the week before, and then 2 more books coming out next week that we'll be covering regularly for that event. So stay tuned for that. Check out our channel for all the other interviews and all kinds of stuff that we do. The haul video that we do every Wednesday, that's a great video. It shows all the books from the week. We show off our covers and cool other stuff that we pick up, and we talk about all the kinds of stuff that's going on in comics. So if there's something, going on, we try to talk about it. So please like, share, subscribe.
Click.
It's so easy. And then tell your friends, because that really helps. The more people watch, the more cool stuff we can get to give away. We like to give away stuff. So, that's one of the big things. We do have a big giveaway coming probably in a couple weeks that is a huge one. And it's really something neat. Hopefully it'll help Justin fill the hole on his wall behind of him.
What?
It's pretty cool. So I can't tell you what it is yet, but it's pretty cool. So we're working on that now. But definitely check out, we interviewed Mike Martz from Aftershock Comics, and talked about that company. We've interviewed a bunch of other creators and writers and artists, and just all kinds of different stuff. And a cool interview coming up next week as well to stay tuned for. So
cool.
Read more comics.
Read them all. And then let us know what you thought.
Please leave a comment. We'll respond.
Yep. Have a good one.
Thanks, everybody.